Yellow.
Oh, the yellow thing, yeah. We could ask these two people too.
The masters with all that salt, but plenty of salt.
Well, I hear you. I'm sorry.
Hi, Catherine. Hey, can I ask if you're interested in saying a few words to a French.com art magazine about the art fair?
Oh, sure.
Sure, you first.
Are you rolling? Maureen Sherlock, a critic and educator from Chicago. How do you see the art fair going this year?
It seems like a smaller crowd, but the work seems better than it has before, and there's even some interesting painting, which everyone knows is very hard for me to find. So, and it's a chance to see a lot of good work that will land up in private collections and never be seen again. So,
any trends that you can see are coming, or?
An awful lot of touchy-feely painting seems to be emerging. I've only gone through about a third. But there's much more sculpture, and there seems to be a heck of a lot less than that. And an awful lot of painting that sometimes is very elegant and very beautiful, but I also don't know what its ultimate meaning is. So, but a lot more painting than usual. Usually, photography is the strongest suit, and I've still seen some of the best work here is in photo. Yeah.
Thank you. Walter Anderson is an artist from Chicago. Any thoughts on the fair this year?
I agree with Maureen that there's less sculpture, I think, in this fair, and a de-emphasis in photography. But there's a great deal of painting, and I think a lot of work reflecting, I guess, artists going back to sort of basic processes for the sake of study. A lot more work on paper, for example. And I would kind of venture to think, I haven't looked at the numbers, but I think there are more galleries in the fair this year. And it's a really great cross-section. And for me, it's sort of, it's sort of a schizoid museum. There's a wonderful sampling of things that Chicago rarely sees. That's here, a huge, beautiful Morris Louis painting in one of the booths, things like that, which I think are sort of shake up the room, even though they're staying really well and secure on the wall. So I think it's a lovely fair. Yeah.
So as a practicing artist, is the fair an important part of your experience?
It is very important, and I think that actually I think it's sort of under-recognized in Chicago in general, in that it's very important economically, but it's also such a powerhouse of really interesting work that's really being brought here to be sort of introduced. So I think it's actually a really great time of year. There's a lot of really interesting off-site exhibitions being held in sort of concert with this event. So it's just. This is the encyclopedia. Start reading.
Yeah, for me as a writer and a curator, I mean, I'm always looking at younger artists' work and then finding the occasional classic joy that's always made it a great pleasure. But I'm always here primarily to look at younger artists' work, and that's just a mixed bag, and you see what's there.
Anybody, any name